President Obama will be traveling to Dallas on Tuesday and will address an interfaith memorial service there. All this as investigators find out more about M.Johnson, the Army veteran who said he wanted to kill white police officers and succeeded in killing 5 of them. Johnson allegedly practiced military-style drills in preparation for his attack. Rick Leventhal joins us now from Dallas with the very latest. Hi, Rick.
Good morning. Good afternoon, Elizabeth. Even with a stifling heat index topping 100 degrees, we're still seeing tremendous support from the Dallas community here at the Dallas Police Headquarters, with a steady stream of visitors coming here of all ages, races, creeds, and colors to leave flowers and candles and balloons and signs of love and support for the officers who were killed and wounded in that attack Thursday night, and also sharing hugs with Dallas police officers who are standing out here in front of their headquarters building. And we are learning more about the gunman, M.Johnson. We are now told by police they're confident that he was in fact the lone shooter. This morning, the Dallas police chief revealed that Johnson was apparently wounded before he was killed, leaving messages in his own blood on the walls of the parking garage where he was hiding out, including the initials RB. The chief says they're still trying to decipher those messages. He also says that Johnson demanded a black hostage negotiator and wouldn't speak to a white one, and at times laughed, sang, and taunted the police, asking how many cops he shot. They communicated with him using a police robot that they eventually armed with a pound of C4 explosives and blew him up to prevent him, they say, from shooting any more officers. We've also learned that Johnson, as you mentioned, supplemented his Army Reserve's military training with courses at a Dallas area gym that also serves many police officers, teaching self-defense and personal protection techniques. And when investigators searched Johnson's home, they found a personal journal that he kept detailing his combat tactics, focusing on how to shoot and move, strategically firing and shifting positions and firing again, which is exactly what he did on Thursday night. Authorities also found more weapons, ammo, ballistic vests, and bomb-making materials, and sources told Fox News they also found methamphetamine in that home, but we won't know if Johnson was on drugs until they complete a toxicology report. Meanwhile, the FBI evidence response team is still processing the extensive crime scene near the corner of Main and Griffin downtown, with several blocks sealed off. It's an exhaustive process to forensically recreate the sequence of events that could take at least a couple more days. And the Dallas Police Department remains on high alert. We saw it here yesterday at police headquarters when a suspicious person was reported inside the police department's parking garage. Officers drew their weapons and took cover while the SWAT team deployed, searching every vehicle on every level of the structure before clearing it nearly 2 hours later. This is obviously a very tense time for Dallas and its police department, which must continue to protect and serve this community while it now plans for 5 funerals this week, Elizabeth.
All right, devastating. Rick Leventhal reporting live. Thank you so much, Rick.
There are 2 stories, really, mixing race and the police in America. The shootings in Dallas and also protests spreading across the country following the shootings of 2 black men by police earlier this week. Those shootings took place in Minnesota and Louisiana, where tensions are understandably high this weekend. But also, those aren't the only states to see violent protests against the police. Will Carr joins us now as he follows his developments from around the country. Hi, Will.
Hey there, Leland. Definitely some tense, violent protests that played out yesterday. In Minnesota, 21 officers were injured after protesters shut down parts of Interstate 94 in St. Paul. They were demonstrating in the wake of Philando Castile's death. Now, at one point, they started throwing everything they could. Officers were hit by bottles, fireworks, one by a piece of concrete, another was hit in the head by a rock. There was also a report of a Molotov cocktail being thrown. More than 100 people were arrested when it was all said and done. Officers had to use smoke to end up dispersing the crowd. In Baton Rouge, Louisiana, around 120 protesters were arrested as they were marching against the officer-involved shooting that killed Alton Sterling. One of those who was arrested was DeRay McKesson. He's a leader in the Black Lives Matters movement. 11 people arrested in Atlanta. There were peaceful protests, though. In Arizona, demonstrators were marching against social injustice.
It's not just black people fighting for black people. We have a diverse group of people that are fighting for civil rights.
The Black Lives Matter movement has denounced the violence that played out in Dallas and continue to call for peaceful protest across the country. Leland.
Although not all the calls on social media are for peaceful protests, Will Carr in Los Angeles Back to you as News Warrants. Thank you.
Well, in the aftermath of the Dallas ambush, and as we heard there from Will Carr, protests continue to rage nationwide. Questions arise. Where do we go from here, and what is and is not working? These questions linger as mourners continue to pay respects and memorials to the 5 fallen officers in Dallas. Texas Congressman Joe Barton has called for the nation to come together in the wake of this very violent week, and he joins us now. Congressman, first and foremost, just so our viewers know, your district is south of Dallas, and in fact, one of the victims, Brent Thompson, lived there, so our condolences to you. How is the community coming together?
Well, Brent Thompson is from Corsicana, Texas. His brother is the district attorney in Navarro County. The community, I don't know if greet is the right word, but they paid their respects when the procession brought his body back to Corsicana yesterday afternoon. We're all praying for his family, but we're also praying for our country. We have got to stop this assault on our police forces. I think the Dallas police chief acted appropriately. I think some of the officers that were shot, I'm told they intentionally exposed themselves to draw fire.
Congressman, I'm so sorry. I'm going to have to interrupt you. I'm going to get back to our interview right now. There's a news conference in Dallas in front of the hospital there, so we are going to break in and listen live, but I assure our viewers we're going to get back with our guest as soon as it is over. So take a listen.
Psychologist with Baylor University Medical Center's Level 1 Trauma Center. Warren, W-A-R-R-E-N. Anne-Marie, A-N-N-M-A-R-I-E. 2 words.
Core.
I'm Sherry Sutton. I'm the Emergency Department Manager. S-U-T-T-O-N. S-H-E-R-R-Y.
I'm Laura, L-A-U-R-A, Bruce, B-R-U-C-E, Petrie, P-E-T-R-E-Y.
All right, so you can see there, unfortunately we interrupted our guests. We're going to come back to this press conference as news warrants. So I'm going to get back to the congressman now. We're going to wait till it begins and we can learn more about some of the victims who are still in the hospital right now. Congressman, I want to get back to what we were talking about. You said moving forward we have to come together, to unify, to prevent any instances of not only violence between police and constituents in counties across the nation, but also the ambush that we saw on officers. How do you do that? What advice do you have to constituents who say, listen, I want to be proactive, I want to make things better, and I want to ease tension?
Well, I plan to create a special group in my district of mayors, police chiefs, leadership, members of the African American, Hispanic, Anglo community, and myself, so that we can have a dialogue to diffuse the tension. The Dallas Police Department were working with the Black Lives Matter organizers. So I don't fault DPD. They had an active outreach to the African American community here in Dallas, but we need to broaden that. The police are not the enemy of any group in America. They protect us. And the shooter that shot the 5 white officers did his, if he's really trying to help the African American community, I think he did a disservice.
Right.
Just as the man who shot Martin Luther King in Memphis that many years ago, white people were outraged that Martin Luther King was shot, just as I think all Americans, regardless of ethnicity, are outraged that this man targeted white police officers.
So what do you need going forward? We all know that leadership starts at the top. What do you need from Washington?
I think it's a good thing that President Obama is going to come to Dallas on Tuesday.